Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Bipolar Lines, your lifeline for honest, unfiltered conversations about loving someone with bipolar disorder. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Laura, and together we share our experiences with you. Each week we dive into the messy, beautiful, truth, and some practical skills, maybe, hopefully, that help us so that we can help you.
Yes, so to our OG listeners and new listeners, if our show speaks to you, please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, whatever, push the buttons, right, on any platform, your favorite platform that you listen to us on. Also, join our Facebook group. It's called Bipolar Lines Pod. It's a private group. It's a safe space, and you have the option to post anonymously. So, great. So yeah, let's talk about navigating the holidays. There's so many different directions we could go with this, and I think maybe the best way to do this would be to just kind of talk through like our tips and tricks, what we've learned over the years in navigating literally from before Thanksgiving to after the new year. I feel like that whole span of time can be very triggering. There's a lot going on. You're seeing a lot of people, you're doing a lot of things, you're spending a lot of money, maybe you're cooking a lot, you're buying, you're just doing a lot during that period of time. A lot. Oh, it's so peopling out there right now. There's so much
peopling.
It really is.
And peopling can be really hard for people without mental illness, much less people who have it.
Me. I'm like, I need to get away from all the people. I love you. I love everybody. So cool. Yes. Yeah. Holidays. I think we can all say, as spouses that have experienced episodes from our partners during the holidays, we tend to prep for the after holiday crash. Like now, we're already thinking about it. We're already, trying to like get the wheels turning as to what to look for or things that we can do to maybe stop that from happening. But I want to take a pause on that and say, that's great if you're doing that. Yes, keep doing that if that makes you feel better, if that relieves some anxiety. But also, it can start early. It can start much earlier than the after holiday crash, because there are so many different triggers. Family can be triggers. Friends can be triggers. Not finding the right gift for your loved one can be a trigger. Like for your kids can be a trigger. Money is a trigger. And in my situation, Jeremy is on Social Security disability, so he does not work. That has become, as you might have listened to the last episode where we were talking about money being an issue, but the cause of the spiraling that happened last month. He is still on that mindset of, how do I contribute? Because the reality is inflation, right? Everything is so expensive right now. Well, his disability check isn't increasing just because of inflation. It will at the beginning of the year. Sure. We're not getting raises just because of inflation, right? That's not how life works. So he wants to be able to contribute more, and he can't. He tried. We heard about that last episode. That 0 out of 10, don't recommend. At least not right now.
Yeah, right, right.
I am prepping for it to start early. And I am prepping now because he's still not fully pulled himself out of the depressive episode that he's been in. I think I'm left off that last episode, Laura, with saying like, we haven't fully moved into the bad depressive episode, but he may be able to pull out of it. I'm not sure yet. I'm still not sure. But I have a feeling that it will actually transition into a depressive episode unless something changes between now and December 1st. That's the timeline I'm giving the situation. That has zero science behind it. This is just me.
No. We're not on here claiming to be scientists. We're telling you this is our lived experience with being with people for as long as we have. But
right.
I think my question to you is, sadly, how did this happen, Brooke?
I don't know. I'm really not sure. My best friend turned 40, and we had her surprise birthday party last week, and I was like, you're older than me. And I'm like, oh, that means I'm turning 40 soon. Just kidding.
I'm older than you. I turned 44 at the end of this month. This is crazy town to me. But
crazy town.
Anyway, people ask me How do you prep? Like you said, I'm prepping. What does that mean?
Well, for me, it means I am doing a lot of mental gymnastics. I'm prepping myself first.
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to get all the things that I can get done because I am prepping for not being able to look to my husband for support, for help.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I do that? I am prepping for a to-do list of Christmas gift ideas because I may not have his support. I may not have his mind to help me come up with gift ideas. So I'm trying to get all that information from him now, get ideas from him now, creating a list so that I have as much as I possibly can have before Christmas hits, right? Thanksgiving. Actually, today I was like, ooh, speaking of this episode, I need to text my parents and say, hey, what's the plan for Thanksgiving? What are we bringing? Because my husband likes to do this turkey dressing every year. It's not turkey dressing. He just calls it dressing. I feel like it's turkey dressing. Anyway, I digress. ADHD moment. Anyway, he may or may not be able to make that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to tell them, yes, Jeremy will sign up for dressing, but also no, he may not actually be able to bring it. And I can't make it. You can forget that. He doesn't use recipes. Nope.
Like, I'm out, bro.
Done.
If that's just not going to happen.
Can I buy it somewhere? Can I pay someone to make it? Because no, unless I have a recipe, it's just not happening.
Totally.
So prepping to me is basically like, how can I set myself up for success to get through the holidays, even if my husband does move into a really bad depressive episode? That's what prepping feels like to me, right? For me. But the other side is to keep having those conversations with my husband, to check in. Now, pause. That doesn't mean I'm saying, hey, babe, how are you feeling? Do you feel depressed? Hey, are you feeling like a little low?
Don't do that.
Don't do that. No.
That is a definite 0 out of 10.
Right.
Don't recommend.
0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Correct. It is more of a baseline check-in.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you feeling? Like, how was your day? You don't have to ask pointed questions to get a real sense of baseline, a shift, right?
Yeah.
But I continue to ask, and I also tell him, I'm feeling anxious. I am feeling a little on edge, uneasy. It's the holidays, and with your history, I want to make sure that like I'm checking in with you more. I'm going to check in with you more because I am anxious. Now I'm saying all these things before he moves into a bad episode so that he understands like why I'm doing it, you know? Again, set yourself up for success as best as you possibly can. Think about if I have to go through from Monday forward, whatever Monday date is, but right before Thanksgiving to Christmas without my person, what do I need to make that happen with the least impact to yourself, your children, your family, whatever your dynamic is? That is what I'd call prepping.
That's a great explanation. Thank you for that. And I think I just want to follow that up with what has been your experience in the past? So what has caused you to come to this point?
Well, that's a great question too. I think I've referred to this a few times, but it's been 2 years since what we refer to as the unexpected event happened with my husband's dad and my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And we have spent the next 2 years not having communication with his dad, which meant all of our holidays looked different. We didn't go there for Christmas. We didn't do Christmas with his parents. Everything looked different. And that caused, oh man, how do I even describe that? The toll that took on his mental health was, so much.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to truly like qualify that. It was terrible, right? But that was 2 years ago.
And that was before the holidays?
Yeah, it was November 16th, I believe, or November 14th. Yeah.
Okay.
And all of that, mind you, happened after an almost attempt on his life. So the same day that he tried to take himself out of this world, we had gone to his therapy appointment, and had all the three of us, so myself, my husband, and his therapist, agreed he needed to go inpatient. And he was willing. He was going to go inpatient. Great, wonderful. Not great, wonderful, but great that he agreed to go, right?
Sure, like getting help.
Yeah, and he was willing to do it. We got home from that appointment, and my husband decided he wanted to go tell his Nana where he was going, because he wasn't sure if he'd be there for Thanksgiving, and nobody told her anything. He just wanted to tell her. And I support that. That's what you want to do. Go do it. Mm-hmm. That is where he was when his dad did what he did. So I want to preface that by saying my husband was going to get help, willing to go to a hospital, and then was physically assaulted by his father right before the holidays. Okay. Now, let me also take another step back and say my husband and his dad are on speaking terms. Jeremy has done extensive EMDR work, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot of work to get where he is. He was no contact for a little over a year and a half. Now they're on speaking terms. What does that mean for this year for us? So there's been a lot of holiday trauma and drama due to episodes for us. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what it's looked like for us in the past. Now there's a new dynamic. Are we going back to his parents' house for Christmas this year? Yeah, that's the plan. Mm-hmm. That is creating a lot of anxiety in me. I'm not fully sure how he feels. I think he feels okay with it. So I'm on edge about that.
In the past, before the incident at Nana's house, what did holidays look like? And were you ever anxious about them?
Holidays, I think, have, before that, it's a mixed bag. There were times when everything was going great until it wasn't, right? There have been several Christmases where where my husband wants to basically make sure that my kids didn't experience Christmas the way he did, where he would, if he could, he would spend thousands and thousands of dollars on the girls each.
Ouch.
Okay. He would. He absolutely would.
Well, so how were we have to go back. I feel like it's important to set an entire scene, because we're finding more and more, I think more and more will come out, that your experiences in childhood, a lot of people who have CPTSD, childhood post-traumatic stress syndrome, are being also diagnosed or misdiagnosed or co-diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And so I think it's really important to just set this stage. So then what were holidays for him when he was younger, and why did he feel the need to go overboard with the girls?
Great question. I think that is absolutely important too. To my knowledge, holidays for him as a kid were a lot of, I want these Nike shoes. I want these Jordans, the shoes. I want this specific brand of something that was, more expensive, but he would ask for one thing per year, mm-hmm. and he never got it. Mm-hmm. He got the off-brand, or as he would call it, the Kmart version. Mm-hmm. So that is not anybody's fault. That is, they were not wealthy. They were doing their best to get by, right? But that set that stage of, waking up Christmas morning and being let down, but having to put on a face of an excited little kid.
Was he not allowed to be disappointed?
I would say he was always an anxious child, an overly sensitive child. So even if he thought it was okay, he would have tried to hide it at the same time. Yeah. So yeah, that was his experience. And as he got older, I don't know how that fully changed. I just know that what he expected from Christmas as a kid never really panned out. And I'm not saying that he wasn't looking at it with, rose-colored lenses as a kid. However, that absolutely feeds into how he looks at Christmas for our girls. I mean, if you are friends with me on Facebook, you will have seen pictures on Christmas. I have been embarrassed 2 years on Christmas Day because of the amount of stuff.
Really?
From Santa. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How does it affect you to him? How does it affect you to him? Like the giving from you to him? Like, is there, I don't know, like, does he have a grievance?
No. I mean, we've gone several years where I've said we're not exchanging gifts.
Okay.
Because
my mom and dad do that too. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I mean, but then there are years where he puts his foot down and he's like, no, we're exchanging gifts. I'm like, then we have to pull the reins back a little bit.
Because he'll go overboard even if it's for you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Interesting. So he's never been like upset you didn't get him something.
No, he doesn't ask for much of anything.
Yeah.
Because he is expected not to get it.
I just want to point that out because, and I hate to drill this home, and it's not that I can diagnose narcissism, but so many people who message me on my bipolar TikTok, I feel like they're probably dealing with a person who has at the very least narcissistic tendencies. And I am telling you right now, like that, like, yes, someone like Jeremy who gift giving was huge and it's important. If you have narcissistic tendencies, you expect it for yourself. Where Jeremy has projected it onto his children and how he wants his children to perceive Christmas. So I just feel like it's important to point that out. That's so interesting.
It is. And all the love languages, etc. He loves to get gifts.
Yeah.
And but they have to mean something. Think about it. If what you asked for, he never got, and I should use never loosely, but like if he continuously asked for a pair of Air Jordan tennis shoes, and always got Reebok tennis shoes as a kid, as you're growing, you stop asking. So you lower your standards even for gifts because you just decide, in my opinion, in his mind, he just decides he's not worth it. It's not worth spending the money on. Like, he is not worth anyone spending the money on a pair of tennis shoes that he wants. In fact, I just purchased the pair of tennis shoes that he wanted for young Jeremy for his 41st birthday.
I love that.
Yeah. I did not know what kind of shoes they were. I had no clue. I knew that he wanted them as a kid. And it took him until age 41 to say, I really want these shoes. These specific shoes. Because he didn't think he was worth it. That started building for him at a really young age.
I'm only like relating so hardcore to this because I have a family member who I'm not going to talk about on here, but who that is exactly who he is. I can just relate so hardcore to that. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he has BPD, but it's undiagnosed. But that's exactly how he is. It was like he doesn't feel he's deserving of even someone loving him because he wasn't. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, and it's just like, why would you not think I love you? Of course I love you. Of course we care about you. But yeah, so interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna just pivot a little bit because I think it's more common for especially on my my audience, largely comprised of people who love someone with bipolar disorder, to have loved ones who experience this depression, this kind of what we've been talking about. Just, I don't even know what you call it, feelings of self-worthlessness. I don't even know how to put it really, but
yeah, I mean, it's self-loathing, worthlessness, void.
Yeah,
no
where
joy,
it's just like
no
it's not a happy time. It's not. They're not going into the holidays being like it's the most wonderful time of the year. Like, they're not going into it like that. Like,
right.
So I would say that's the predominant theme of people who follow me on my bipolar TikTok. So with that caveat, I will say that for some reason, and Cody and I even were talking about it tonight, like Cody absolutely loves the holidays. Like it is his happiest time. They are his happiest memories. Whatever happened to him childhood wise dissipated during the holidays. He felt loved. He felt the joy. He felt the energy. He felt the vibe. And even if he didn't get as many presents as his siblings, it didn't matter. It was enough to make him feel like, yes, this is what I wanted. So even if his brother got more or his sister got more, like he was still fine with it because he got enough to make him feel like, yes, this is amazing. And so then we met and I loved Christmas. And so Christmas is like both of our favorite times of year. Like it's so odd because I am going to still like preface this by saying I feel like this is probably a not the norm thing. It's like an exception, right? Not the norm. But what ends up happening is Cody gets so happy, like he gets on such a high that this is the precipice for the mania. So where people talk about like, oh, manic episodes happen in the spring because of the sun and the time and like the days are longer. Like, I feel like, yes, there's something to that with Cody, but it is brought on by his sheer joy and giddiness of Christmas. So I feel like I could probably decorate the house for Christmas before Halloween, and he would bypass Halloween and be like, I'm in. Like, he'll never start it. But every single time, no matter, I mean, we've been together 24, 25 years. I'm like, if I start decorating the house for Christmas, he's automatically in. It's like an immediate yes. Yeah. And he's like, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay. Basically, it's just that, unlike what I would feel like is the usual concern over the holidays with people who have bipolar disorder, Cody, the crash, the depression, you're worried about it. Like, my worry is like Cody gets so euphoric. Like, people don't talk about this enough. You can be manic euphoric or manic dysphoric. Yeah. So, manic dysphoric is like you're still manic, but you're in a very, kind of awful demeanor where I'm totally simplifying this, by the way, where manic euphoric is like you're manic, but you're like super, super happy and everything's great. And so that's typically where Cody will go. And it's dangerous because Cody can go off the ledge. It's like once the train has left the station, you can't stop no pulling the train. It back. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's usually our experience. I mean, I do remember a couple, I don't know how many years ago it was now, but we had booked a Santa train. So like it's where you get to like do a train ride and there's like people who dress up as elves and you get to tell Santa what you want and it's super fun. And we're in Colorado, so there's lots of mountains. There's at least 3 different Santa trains you can go on. And we had booked it and that's before Christmas, obviously. And before we could even go on it, he had just gone so manic that he landed in a hospital right before Christmas. And I remember I can't remember exactly what date, probably like the 18th or 19th of December. And that was our train ride. We had to try and reschedule it. And the staff was telling me like, he needs to be hospitalized. This is where he needs to be. But we're weighing it with the psychiatrist because it's almost more of a detriment that he's missing Christmas because he loves it so much. Like this is like a problem, like he's spiraling. And so they did let him out on like the 24th. And if you know hospitals in the US, they don't ever let you out early. And if they do let you out early, they still let you out manic. Like Cody's always let out manic. Okay. So like for them to have let him out when he did, he was definitely not not at the stage he should have been let out. But the staff had professionally decided that if they had made him stay through Christmas, it would have been way more of a detriment to him. Like they had to let him go. Yeah. And so they did. And like,
I feel that.
Yeah, they did. And that incident ended up being fine. But I do feel like for me, like Christmas is, the holidays are usually wildly very happy times for us. And the crash for me comes after January. And I'm like, oh shit. Like that's when I'm like, hold on to your hats. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great perspective because obviously Jeremy has been triggered into mania with coming into money, like getting a lot of money for Christmas, which hasn't happened. It's usually gifts or getting really excited about getting a gift that he really likes, which has only happened once. Again, his perspective of receiving gifts is flawed. by his own childhood experience, right? So for him to get super excited is rare. Even if he is internally busting, you are not going to be able to see that.
Wow.
He will be stoic. In fact, he'll be like, "Oh, thanks guys. I really appreciate it." And you're like, "Oh, you're welcome." And then he will put it down and then he will move on. Even though like he wants to unwrap that whatever it is, like a 5-year-old. He won't. It's
fascinating.
It's
fascinating
heartbreaking
to me because that is heartbreaking, and it's fascinating to me because Cody is the exact opposite. Like, Cody is the person you want to give a gift to. Like, he cannot control himself. The impulsivity is just not available. Like, I mean, he's like, gift, love it, unwrap it, amazing. Oh my God, thank you so much. Like, he is just like pure joy in getting a gift. I feel like I'm probably more reserved, and I feel like my kids are probably more reserved. But I think what's hard about bipolar is that people it's hard to understand that bipolar disorder is not a personality disorder. And so 2 people with bipolar disorder are 2 different people with bipolar disorder. So you and I are both describing, we're both describing the holidays as being a challenging time, but in terms of personality, like Jeremy and Cody have very different personalities in terms of the holidays.
Right.
And that's because they're 2 different people, and bipolar doesn't dictate their personality.
It doesn't discriminate either. It doesn't care what your personality is. Yeah,
exactly.
For sure. Yeah. So that's 2 different perspectives, right? We have some trauma, drama, which leads to, really a lot of disappointment that he won't talk about or vocalize. And there's a possibility of mania for him, but it's like, if I was to give it a percentage, I'd be like 1%, like literally 1% chance.
It's just so we're like, with Cody and depression, I would give that the 1%. Like, I mean, I guess we could get depressed, but
but you're like,
so,
nah.
Like the more likelihood that we're popping off on the upper end is way higher. And by the way, not one is preferable. I mean, like, people have asked me this, would you rather have depression or mania? And then I do think about it, and I'm like, both of them are so freaking bad. They're so bad. Like there is nothing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's nothing that people do to try to sugarcoat it. It's just not true. Like, you can experience, like, they could die in either episode.
Absolutely.
And for very different reasons. But the reality of them dying, or the potential to die, is very real in both episodes. It's not cute. It's not fun. It's not fun to play around with. I mean, like, they're just both so bad in 2 very different ways.
So true. And what I was going to say was, like, I think as a spouse, our tendency is to want to avoid the episodes that have done the most damage, that have been the most destructive, caused the most harm to them or the family, right? So for you, it's absolutely mania. You want to avoid it at all costs. I sit in a very odd spot. Depression has caused, we almost lost him a few times. One specifically, right? One was, I didn't know if he was going to make it with depression. With mania, it's just a different kind of hurt, right? Where I can still separate him from the illness, but it's just a different kind of destruction. So like, I sit sometimes in the middle of, like, I don't know which one I would say.
I know.
But then ultimately I choose depression because that's the closest I've gotten to losing my person, was because of depression. Now I've encouraged the mania to stay away, right? Like,
of course,
that's fine. But ultimately, I think we choose to say, is it a choice? Yeah, we're choosing to identify, like, the episode that causes the most destruction for us. And that's the one we want to avoid. But you're so right in that neither are wanted, neither are great. It's not a competition, right? Both are terrible. Both are destructive. Both are awful. And then you add rapid cycling into the mix. And then it's like, I want a vacation alone in a dark room with a lot of water, because I'm going to drink a lot of alcohol so I can go to sleep for 12 hours, wake up and feel terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But Point is, like, it's just, it's so much. It's so overwhelming.
You know, what's interesting about the holidays for us, 2 years ago, Cody had his last episode, spring of 2022, and it was one of the worst ones we've ever experienced. In that, there was some dynamics with his family, particularly, that happened. And it involved my children. You know, it's kind of like you talk about, there's just no going back from things that happened. And I've been at this with my husband for over 20 years, and I truly felt like they have not done the work to understand what's going on with him. And so when they were faced with the reality, which I'm not saying was easy, when they were faced with the reality of him with my children in their house and them trying to figure out what to do, they ultimately put my children at risk, and I was not okay with that. Like, if you hear Brooke and I talk, like, no, your safety is always number one. Boundaries are there. And no, boundaries aren't intuitive. Yeah, I was just telling my niece the other day, she's like, I'm horrible at boundaries. I'm like, everyone's horrible at boundaries. Most people don't need to have boundaries in a relationship. It's just like you might have loose ones, but like, you don't have to have these hard boundaries that carry strong consequences. And if you don't,
exactly.
like, that's just not how relationships normally work. So unfortunately, sometimes they do. And his parents didn't do the work to to know how to do it. And they put my children at risk, and my son felt unsafe. And there was a very bad situation that happened. And I'm not willing to go back to how things were because of it. Yeah. And so moving forward from that 2022 episode, have boundaries that are new, and so last year, like you were talking about, things look different with family. Last year was different. Normally we spent Christmas Eve with his family, and I booked a mountain vacation. Cody loves the mountains. Like, he grew up in Utah. He's over here in Colorado. He loves snowboarding. And, ever since he was first diagnosed, we had like a what works list on what de-escalates him, and snowboarding is one of them. And being in nature and on the board, and like, he's 44 and it still works. So
that's awesome.
we took this mountain trip last year, and we had very limited contact with his family on Christmas Eve, where it was usually high contact on the 24th. And I did the same thing this year. I booked another ski vacation where we will have limited contact as opposed to high contact, but I'm not willing to go back to what that looked like.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is I feel like, even though Christmas was always a really happy time for him, he still, like I alluded to earlier, he still was the one who ended up with the lesser of the presents. You might have heard me say that. So even if his brother or sister got more monetarily, he still felt happy with what he got. But there was still always a dig that, like, know your place, boy. Like, yes, you got some really good gifts, but just know your place and know that it wasn't as good as them, and that's your place in this family. And he would tell me all the time, even when I met him, he's like, I know my place. And he would say it just complacently, like, with no emotion, like, I know my place in this family.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. And I'm a Scorpio, and no, I go for the jugular after you burned me, and they burned him. And so, oh, now I know what he meant. Now I really know what he meant. And so, nope, you do not get access. Nope, I'm not playing that game. You do not get access to the best person you have in your family. Absolutely not.
Right. Nope. And you're definitely not going to take the best person from your family. That's ours. You're not going to take him out of our life by causing an episode because you choose to be toxic, or you are choosing yourself over children, or you are uneducated, right? Like, you no longer have access to hurt my family.
And that's what I feel like. I feel like in the past, I would have invalidated that experience from him. I would have been like, oh, well, you probably thought that it wasn't equal, but I don't think your parents meant it. They wouldn't have meant to do something like that, or like, and I would have invalidated, where now I know they did. Now I know it was a choice. I'm like, yep, you're right. She made sure you knew your place in this family, and that was not okay. And that is not who you are in this family. You are elevated in this family. You are exalted in this family. Thank you for being.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that is a really good point to reiterate too, that, like, for all the listeners, if you've experienced something along these lines, family trauma, parental trauma, I want you to hear me. It is not your job to make everyone else comfortable to be around you. You as the spouse or you as the diagnosed, it is not your job to make anyone around you comfortable to exist around you. You are allowed to take up space. You are worthy of taking up that space. So if this is your situation, some variation, you do not need to indulge other people just to save face. I want to reframe that because I think it is so crucial for my mental health, for my husband's mental health, and for everybody else. I refuse to indulge others. I will take up space as I need to. I am not going to indulge family just to make them feel more comfortable or to keep the peace. I will no longer sweep things under the rug. I will have those hard conversations. I'm a Taurus. I'm not afraid of conflict. I don't particularly like it, but I'm not going to avoid it anymore, you know? And also...
I'm a Taurus moon, FYI.
Oh.
I know. This is why we're getting along.
Yes, it is.
You're just a little more PC than me, just a little bit.
But if you come for the people I love,
yep,
I will come for you.
Yes, 100%. I love that, Brooke. That message is beautiful. Like, people do, like, just like I was saying, that family member who I'm not naming, that he deserves to take up space. He doesn't believe he deserves it. He doesn't believe, like, why would you love me as much as I love you? I don't deserve that. What? Mm-hmm. That is flawed. We all deserve that. We all deserve that space. Yes, and no matter who you are listening, even if it's you listening to this, like, listener, like, you deserve to take up space simply because you deserve.
You are human.
You are human, exactly.
Because you were born to have that right, and we are all deserving of love and joy and happiness. So do not, I repeat, and I know it'll be hard, it'll be uncomfortable for a lot of people. The moment that you feel uncomfortable because of someone else's choices or directed actions or statements at you, you have the choice to walk away. You don't have to sit through family dinner. You don't have to sit through the uncomfortable silence or awkwardness or direct hate or direct aggression, passive aggression, whatever that looks like. You do not have to sit there and take it. I call them
microaggressions. Like, I was telling my therapist the other day, I'm like, this is why I'm booking another mountain trip and we're going to have low contact on Christmas Eve, is because if we had full contact on Christmas Eve, I'm going to be hit with microaggressions, like, that are played off as like, oh, I didn't mean anything by it. Why did she take it that way? I'm not dealing with it. I'm literally not. Like, that's fine. You can just pretend you didn't mean to offend me, or, oh, what did she mean? I'm done. I'm done with it. So now we're low contact, and I'll be in the mountains, and we'll come and visit you for one present game, and that's it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think, to be quite honest, I think my husband is feeling a little uncomfortable at how he thinks I'm going to act at Christmas, because, again, I still haven't had conversations with his parents of any substance, right? I want to.
Interesting.
I want to.
We've had emails, but I feel like the emails weren't productive. They were substantial, but they weren't productive.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I haven't. I've said, I've waved at his dad at a softball game. I have said a few words to his mom. I should say more than a few words. Like, she's been around a little bit more than obviously his dad was, but I haven't had a conversation. And I need to have that conversation with them, and I have to have the conversation with the kids. What do you want? Okay, let me rephrase that. I need to have the conversation with each kid individually to make sure and meet them where they are, because of their experience as well. So I say all that to say, he's like, how do you want to, Brooke, how do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know what you expect from me. Like, it's not like I'm gonna explode. That's not who I am. I just want to have a direct conversation and know that I'm no longer hiding things under the rug. If you're going to act out in front of my children, my husband, or you're going to be aggressive towards my husband, my children, myself, like, I'm going to call you on it. I'm not going to, it's not going to get swept under the rug. That's not going to happen. My children are old enough now to know. They feel it. They're both very empathetic individuals. They feel the tension. And I refuse to put them back into an environment where that's what they feel. And
also
that they feel like they have to manage.
Yeah, and also model that that's somehow how we're dealing with problems anymore. Because, you know, that's the thing. Like, I feel like, you know, I don't know if our generation, Brooke, I mean, maybe we're a little behind, but I do feel like the younger generation from us too, like we talk about breaking cycles, and there are cycles of way families are ran. And even if it's not a narcissistic family, maybe they had narcissistic traits and that's just how they ran the family. Like I've talked about a lot with my therapist about that, but ultimately, like, you want to break that cycle of whatever toxicity is within your family. And so certainly I feel like a big one was just pretending everything was okay. Like just pretending and nothing happened. It's all good.
And to us in the moment, we're not really pretending. We're just like, wait, okay, you know, I don't really want to cause a stink. It's Christmas.
Exactly.
Right? We justify it away.
Yeah,
but then later we pretend that everything's fine because we're like, we'll
and so really, like, I feel like now is the time. Now is the time to be like, absolutely not. I'm not accepting this as a paradigm anymore. Like, this is not how Christmas Eve is going. I'm not pretending that I'm just going to take all these microaggressions, or you're just going to treat my husband as being, you know, less than the two other siblings, even though he got a really good gift. And all of us all just pretend everyone was treated fair. No, it's not true. And I'm not pretending anymore.
Nope. Absolutely not. Yeah. And also, I think it's important to know that some of you listeners, myself at times for sure, may not know how to communicate in that situation. We may not know the right thing to say or the best thing to say.
Oh, gosh. It's horrible.
You may just be like, your blood's boiling and you're really pissed. Okay? If you find yourself in that space, please know that no response is a response. It's actually a very loud response. So if you were to just get your things together and collect your group, whoever that may be, and leave, that is a response.
Absolutely.
You do not have to defend yourself. Okay?
I was just talking to my friend about that, who said that his family is very political. I'm not going to go either way because that's not what this podcast is about. But he was like, I'm going to have a really hard time because that's all they like to talk about on Thanksgiving. And I was like, that's horrible. Like, my family, thank God, is not. So like when we get together, my family is very much like, how's your job? What's going on? What's new? What's new in your life? Like, that's pretty much what Thanksgiving dinner is with my family. But to him, he was like, well, that's not my family. And he was like, so if that happens, I'm leaving. And I was like, great boundary.
Absolutely.
Because that says more than anything else would. Him sitting there and arguing, you know, trying to like push a certain point or perspective. Like, you know what? That's great if you all want Thanksgiving to be about this interaction. I do not. And so I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Yeah. Because I'm sure he knows that, like, he would not be able to say, hey, I would really appreciate it if we just didn't talk politics.
Yeah, exactly. And clearly, then no one would respect that boundary. Exactly. No one would respect that boundary. He could put it as a boundary, and if they don't respect it, then okay, I guess we go. Yeah.
Or he's already like, I know they're just going to be like, okay. So he's like, why bother? I am just going to leave, you know? Yeah. And I'm sure the listeners out here are probably like, yep, I've experienced that. Maybe not with politics, but something else, you know?
Yeah, I just want to encourage people that, like, you know, the old paradigms don't always have to be what we continue, and that holidays are always, I guess if I were to leave a parting word, holidays, we typically think of tradition, but we don't always have to follow traditions that are toxic. And so if you feel like you are in a toxic situation where a tradition was carried on, like, oh, my family always talks politics at Thanksgiving and it's detrimental to your mental health, or, oh, my family always celebrates Christmas Eve for the whole day, even though I always feel like crap because it's obvious I'm singled out as the person who doesn't get as much as the. You don't have to do that anymore. Like, we don't have to do that anymore. And
no, we don't, because we're actually hurting ourselves.
We are.
And that's what we don't want to do. And also, I know if my husband does those things, indulges those conversations, takes the mental beating, he will absolutely move into depression.
Exactly. Nope. Not willing to do it.
I'm not willing to risk that.
Nope.
Now, my family, my parents for sure are aware. They know. You know, and so they will
and they will listen to me too. Like if I give them a directive like, hey, this is really going to be detrimental, I need you to not do this, they all respect that.
Yep.
But if you're around family who's not going to respect, peace out.
Yep. Peace out, homie. See you next time. See you next year. Yeah. So, you know, just be confident in that and know that it is okay to protect your peace and to protect the peace of your family and your children. If you have children or not, it is okay to do that. And I would encourage you to do that, because the downside of not is your person may be triggered into an episode, and we don't know the outcome of that episode when it starts. We have no idea what to expect, right? I'm not willing to risk it. That's not to say that you're wrong if you do and you don't speak up or stand up, or if that it takes a little bit of time to, you know, get more comfortable in that space. I understand that. But just know that, like, you will have a community behind you, supporting you, telling you you do the right thing, like you did the right thing. And we're proud of you for doing those things and for standing up, for speaking up. Because we know what it's like when we don't and our person goes into an episode. Our family doesn't really know that. We can't expect them to. And I'm sorry, but we damn sure can't will them into understanding. We just can't. It doesn't work like that.
Gosh, it's so true.
So, to sum up this episode, start prepping, have those conversations with your person, with yourself, do as much as you can to, you know, relieve some of that anxiety. Now, I should also say, if that causes anxiety, don't do the prepping things that I was talking about.
Totally.
Don't make this worse for you.
I love that.
You know, just be mindful of how you're feeling, check in with yourself, have your little list of things that work for you, things that don't work for you, and, you know, baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. I feel like, and I, you know, I was talking to my niece the other day about just the idea of setting boundaries, and she was like, I'm just so bad at it, like with crying emojis. And I was like, no one is good at this.
Yeah,
like, so
nobody's good at that.
All of you out there, just give yourself grace. This is a marathon, not a sprint. This is a process, not, you know, not a solution. And we're all learning as we go, and we're all supporting each other as we go. And even Brooke and I, being at this forever, if you listen to our last episode, have hiccups. We have doubts. Yep. We have, you know, times when we're uncertain. So it's not a black and white situation. It's not a final destination. It's a journey that we're all on to help each other.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. Love your insight. Always love your insight, Laura.
Well, I love yours too, Brooke. And you need to get your house decorated for Christmas. I'm holding you to that.
I mean, I'm going to, whether my family likes it or not. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to come to Tennessee.
Do it.
And I'm going to decorate it with you.
I mean, I'm all for it. Let's make it happen. I'm tired of it. It brings me joy. Just let me have my joy.
Joy. I need joy. That's exactly what happened. I was like, nope. I need to feel happy. The house is getting decorated in Christmas. This makes me happy. This makes Cody happy. We're doing it.
Christmas is happy vomiting on my house. It's going to happen.
Totally. I love it.
I love it too. Well, this was yet another great conversation. They're always good. Love it.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Bipolar Lines podcast. We hope you check us out where all podcasts are available. We're on Apple, Spotify, but pretty much it's pushed out to wherever you listen to your podcast. We're also on YouTube. If, as Brooke and I say, for some reason you want to watch us talk about this stuff.
We'll wave a few times.
We're there. And then we also have a Facebook group, Bipolar Lines Pod, where Brooke mostly responds to you. I try to respond to you guys. But that's available too as well. And you can find me, Laura, I'm the BP spouse on TikTok. And Brooke, you are?
_the stigma. I think I messed that up the last time. But anyway, it's @break_. the stigma. Laura does a great job of posting videos on TikTok. I have been not in my creative mode, so.
But Brooke does DM you. She is so self-deprecating, but she is available to you.
I am absolutely available to you.
Yeah.
Do not. Yes.
You do not need a fresh video to access Brooke.
No. But you can also find Laura's content on TikTok. I don't have any right now. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. But anyway, yeah, as always, thank you so much for being here, for showing up for your person. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.